everybody. I'm Rev Catie.
And I'm Jenna Crawford.
And we're the ministers at First Parish in Needham Unitarian Universalist. And welcome to our next couch conversation. We're in March 2021, and our monthly theme at the congregation is heroism. We have a monthly theme each month that we tie into our Sunday services and our small groups and our lifespan religious exploration programs. And so we're actually, I'm loving what we're doing in the Sunday services right now. At the beginning of the month, we celebrated Women's History. Jenna, I know at the end of the month, you're going to be celebrating Trans Day of Visibility. This is all part of our effort as Unitarian Universalists to diversify our heroes. I think that in our dominant culture in the United States, we hear a lot about Euro-American white men, often who are heterosexual, and we actually need to make an effort to sort of break out of that dominant culture mode and learn about the heroes of our history and of our present day who are not in those very narrow identity categories. So I know that's definitely something we're trying to do at First Parish through Sunday worship and our other programming.
Yeah, I know that in a couple minutes, Reverend Catie's going to talk about like sort of one type of media representation in children's books. But we've also talked about, as we've been planning for the Sunday services this month, just how important our national leaders, how important it is that they represent the constituencies. And so the fact that I really love this story from the documentary The Way I See It, which is a feature on Pete Souza, Obama's White House photographer. He has a clip in his documentary where like a young black boy visits the Oval Office and says to President Obama, my parents say that you have the same hair as I do. And Obama just smiles really big and just ducks down so that the kid can touch his hair and feel it. And he's like, I think I do. And that just, goes to show that who our leaders are. It all down to the minutia of what is in our children's books and what is on TV is really important to create the worlds and to be able to, and for folks to be able to imagine themselves in these positions of high leadership in our country. And that was the case for President Obama. That's the case with Kamala Harris, the first South Asian American, African American, and woman vice president. And now people more like her can imagine themselves in that role. I've also been following the Interior Secretary appointment, Deb Haaland. So the first Indigenous American to be appointed to that position, and also just to really our Indigenous Americans really should be in charge of that specific department, because they've been teaching us for generations, how to be better stewards of the land. Yeah, just in the sense of who our leaders are important, and the worlds that we're creating in the media equally complement that as well.
Yeah, I'm even thinking about how it's so important for folks of privilege in our country to also see people from historically marginalized communities lifted up in leadership and in the media. I love what you said about how it helps us imagine like a different world, a better world, being able to see it. So folks know that I'm really into like science fiction and loved like the Marvel movies, things like that. I was like, and now I'm a parent, and part of what we really strove to do when Sophia was even littler than she is right now was diversify her bookshelf. Because we had a lot of books where animals were the characters, and that's fine. I love animals. But we also really wanted her to see a diverse world in her little bookshelf, especially during COVID, because she doesn't really go anywhere. So we looked at, here are my props. I did bring children's books today. We got her books that are actually about leaders and activists from a variety of backgrounds. We wanted her to see that there are many different kinds of families and that there's diversity in sexual orientation and gender identity. These are just two of my favorites. These like really sweet little books about families, that it's not that some of the stories she's reading are not like, oh, here's like an activist book about people from historically marginalized communities. It's just like, oh, here's some folks. And also struggling with like different problems, like what do you do with an idea? And this great book that, didn't we just read this? Didn't Roberta just have I Am Human? I love these books.
Yeah, we did it in a recent Time for All Ages.
Yeah, like fabulous stories. Like, I was so brave, just like so that Sophia sees a variety of human characters. So this is not a surprise to her that that the vice president, the president, is a person of color or a woman of color. It's she's, we hope, learning from a very young age, like leadership is accessible and exercised by people from a variety of backgrounds. It's not just as it often was earlier in our country's history, our world's history. It's not just very narrow identities that allow for access as part of the historical narrative. I feel like before we wrap up, I should say, like, thank you, Howard Zinn, for starting the People's History Movement. And it's like all of the activists and artists who have made like books like these ones possible, that like, and brought that to national attention, that we should be diversifying our media and we should have diversity in our leadership.
Yeah. Reverend Catie and I would love to hear from you all too, sort of how you're diversifying your heroes this month. Wherever you're watching, you can comment, whether that's on Facebook or YouTube, or you can write to us at internminister@uuneedham.org. We'd love to hear from you and hear about what books are on your bookshelf, and what movies you're watching that feature more diverse main characters or heroes in the way that we've talked about today. So we look forward to hearing from you, and we also will see you next month for our April Catch conversation.
Yeah. See you all soon.
Everyone.
Bye.